Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, hotel accommodations, autographed memorabilia, and more. You can register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. This is the Buzz Williams Show, and we are back at Rudy's for this month of February, and what a month of January it was for Texas A&M. And after the win on Saturday against Georgia, the team is 8-2 in conference play, and they are 16-7 when it comes to the overall record. And talking with Buzz Williams a little bit earlier during a shoot-around, we got talking. Well, you guys all know that I love food. I mean, we have a show at Rudy's after all. So we talked about food, and we talked about real dudes, and we talked about the recipe for success.
And I think
here's Buzz Williams.
Figuring out that if you're a real dude, that means you have to be a real dude all the time. And I think that when those guys are being real, you figure out the specificity of the recipe sooner, more efficient, more effective, and they're much more accepting. Hey, man, we can't leave it in too long. Remember, last time we burned it a little bit. Like they know because they were so invested in the process of what we were cooking figuratively. And we're in that. That's where we are. Like, we know we don't have it figured out, but we also know that we have figured out some of it. And so what we have figured out, we got to keep that right, and we got to continue to work on what's the rest of this to make it even better. And I think that doesn't just happen on games. That happens in the film room. That doesn't just happen in the film room. That happens in practice. That happens in shoot-around. Because every opportunity that we're together, we realize we all have a responsibility to help one another make the best meal we can.
To stay on that analogy, because everybody contributes, Buzz, everybody eats that recipe, correct?
Yeah, and it's I mean, that I've probably spent too much time on it, but I think it's important. It's not Boot scoring 30. It's not. And it's not Boot scoring 31 at DePaul. It's everybody. And when something doesn't go right, when Henry's in foul trouble, Dex is in foul trouble for the first time the other day, that requires everybody to go, oh, now what was he in charge of? Because now we got to spread that out. And you never know what the game is going to present. But there are guys on our bench that are in uniform that are not playing that are very important to the recipe because of the reps they're giving us in practice, and their willingness to accept that is critical. There's not negative drama happening. It's positive drama because they realize they have a role and they have ownership in that role. Kay comes in and plays that one possession defensively, and I asked him yesterday, hey, do you think that guy took a 6-foot step back three, or was it 5? That one possession, that one stop to end the first half, I think the score was 10-2 at 17:40 when we called timeout, and the score at halftime was 45-30. Okay, well, that stop prevented that three, and he was engaged, he was locked in, he knew the scouting report, he knew what the play was for them. Like, that matters. That matters. And the job that Andy and Dre did was remarkable. And a little bit like the Northwestern State game, when we subbed those two guys in, we started getting stops. Henry played less minutes in the second half than he typically does, and he was the loudest cheerleader on the bench because he knew what Andy was doing was so good. And that's my point. Like, hey, man, you got to hand the utensils to Andy. He's the one cooking right now. And Henry was more vocal than any coach in that period of time. And I just think that intangible is so important.
I don't think you've ever sounded better. He's Buzz Williams. When we come back, no, you get something to eat. We got a little bit of time. I had to share that. I love to be able to share things. Every time I talk with Buzz, there's something there that if I can't use it on the pregame or if he says something postgame, I just have to share with y'all. That was one of those. When we come back, we hear from the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. Still more to come here from Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. It's the Buzz Williams Show, and this is Aggie basketball from Learfield. All Hands Craft Cocktails is a new bar-strength canned cocktail made with 6 times distilled vodka and 10% ABV to make sure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your drink. All Hands Craft Cocktails, founded by Aggies and a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. With the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Buzz Williams, it is the Buzz Williams Show, and we are at Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Great crowd here at Rudy's. Thank you all for being here. We've got questions lined up a little bit later on in this hour, but it's been a while since we have been here and done this show, and bringing up a word we use, and Buzz has used with us as we sit here on February 6th, Coach, metamorphosis. And the metamorphosis of this team has them, I love what you say, they are in a position to be in a position, right? But that's so far, your thoughts, almost Buzz, like a state of the union, if you will, for this team at this moment.
I love the growth. I think the most important thing is just the character of the group. That's a credit to their parents. That has nothing to do with the basketball side of it or the coaching side of it. I think that we were 6-5 at Christmas. And unless you have borderline elite character, you don't have the ability to bounce back. Last year was a different time with a different group. But the one thing that was very offensive to me in all of that, I think we won 12 out of our last 15. And some people talked about that. Most people talked about the 8-game losing streak. And I understand that. But what nobody talked about was we lost 8, and then we won 12 out of 15. How did that happen? Mm-hmm. Because you don't see that. And similar this year, 6-5 and lose to Wofford, a really, really bad loss that still haunts us, that still hurts us. But since then, what's transpired, all of the adjectives that you would use, but the first one that's most important, that's not an adjective, is the character of the people. And that's the young people, that's the old people. And I think that that's what I respect the most, that's what I admire the most in anybody, whether they're an athlete or a coach, is their character. And I think you have to have great integrity in order to say, we're not good. And we have to figure out how to get good. And you have to have great character to receive the fact that you're not good. And there's only one way to hopefully get better, and that's to work really hard and to be accountable for your work. And similar to last year, lose 8 in a row and everybody quit on us, and I get it. And then win 12 out of 15 and everybody's on board, and I completely get it. But a portion of the narrative should have been the response to the 0-8. And I feel the same way now. I'm just a little bit more vocal. We're very thankful to be where we're at on February the 6th. We're very aware that we have way more work to do. We understand we haven't accomplished anything. I'm not saying any of that in a disrespectful way. Yeah. It's the truth. But I also want to be more vocal about the character of the people in the organization to respond that way. Because you can look at multiple organizations and multiple teams in pick a sport, and when things go south, stereotypically speaking, they stay south. But when you're south and you somehow get back going north in that trajectory, I think that you have to speak to the character and the willingness to work. And that would be the state of the union that I would give, more so than we won this game or we did that or this guy's playing good or these guys are playing good. Now, I want to focus on the human beings, because the human beings are the ones that are doing it day after day after day, and the character in which to be an everyday person is rare anymore.
I've told you before that you and your staff bring in student athletes who fit not just A&M but also this team. This legitimize is not the right word, but along those same lines. There's a reason why you bring these young men in, because they do have to fit together. You have seen through your career, I've seen it in my career, Buzz, it's the greatest looking puzzle on the box, but the pieces don't fit.
Yeah.
Your pieces fit for your teams, and that's important, isn't it?
Well, to credit the staff, there's 80 years of experience with me as a head coach on my staff. This is my 16th season as a head coach, and I'm only 50. But if you add up all of the years of experience of the group, it's 80. So I think that they recognize the character required, the work ethic required of how we operate every day in identifying the pool that we're going to recruit from. And it is a very small pool. Hey, you need to play in the best league in the United States that's not the NBA. Okay, that's a very small pool. Okay, and then from that pool, Buzz likes to wake up early every day. So if you like to sleep, that's probably not going to work. Buzz makes you sit in the first 3 rows of class, and you have to go to class. Okay, that shrinks the pool. Mm-hmm. You have to wake up. You're going to work at our facility before you work on campus academically. And then we're going to see you again in the afternoon, and we're going to do some more work. That shrinks the pool. And if you want to shoot every ball and you want to talk about you and you want all the tweets to be about you, that's not going to work. That shrinks the pool. We were talking about this 2 days ago, just randomly in the office, about each player that's on our team and did they take an official visit here. Manny didn't.
Right.
Ford didn't. Andy didn't. Dexter didn't. Like, you can just keep going down the line. You're like, what do you mean you didn't come on a visit? Yeah, the decision was made without seeing College Station, without seeing the campus. And that, I think that just, like, Jay Crowder never took a visit to Marquette.
Right.
Darius Johnson-Odom never took a visit to Marquette. Jimmy Butler never took an official visit to Marquette. Like, how does all of that happen? I think there's only so many guys left in the pool, and it's just streamlined. And I think as I've gotten older and as the experience of the group with me has grown, I just think that we kind of cut through a lot of the minutia. Is this going to fit? We're not talking about his talent. Is his character and his work ethic and his academic career going to fit? And
if they're paying attention, they saw what happened in Tampa in the SEC. I'm talking Julius and Dex, let's say. Yep. And they saw what happened in the NIT. Yep. So that was kind of a selling point as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just don't ever talk about ball. Yeah. When I'm talking to moms, when I'm talking to dads, when I'm talking to kids. Like, if they ask me a question about ball, I will. I think you have to choose people in who you hire and in who you recruit. You have to choose people that you're willing to lose with.
That's interesting.
Because if you only want to be around them when you win, okay, that's not going to work around me in our organization, because we do it every day, whether it's in season or not. So if I can't, but if I don't feel comfortable being around you regardless of a result, you probably won't work here. You're probably going to transfer. And I understand the transfer portal. I get all of it. But it makes no sense for our program, Texas A&M. Let's invest in their life, in their academic career, in their brain, in their soul, in their body, in their game. Let's invest. And then 10 months later, they leave. Okay, well, that's just a rabbit hole that's going to get deeper and deeper. And so that's why when we go recruiting in the spring, Julius went to East Lansing twice, went to see his mom twice. I didn't say anything about the SEC tournament. I didn't say anything about the NIT. I'm just trying to get to know who you are. And at the same time, I also want you to get to know who I am. Right. What's important to you? Like, how did you get to this point? And can you function on a team, or are you wanting to be the team? And so we're never going to have the best recruiting class. We don't even try to have the best recruiting class. We try to have the best group that fits us relative to their character and relative to their work ethic. And in truth, I feel the exact same about our staff. Like, do we have the best coaches? No, I don't think so. Am I the best coach? No. Are our players the best players? No. And you don't have any NBA players. I don't coach in the NBA.
Right.
That's not the game I'm trying to play.
There's not another column that says Buzz's NBA players.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I've had more than one per year in my career, but that's not – they became that.
Right.
And so that's not yeah.
Sometimes it's got to be a qualifier for some fans, and it's just not it. Again, you can have all of those ingredients and still be the best because they all come together, right? It doesn't have to be. And same way, Buzz, you can have the best come in and not fit, and then it's almost both sides of the coin.
We want stars in our organization. Mm-hmm. We want stars that translate to what we do. Like when you were in kindergarten, and if you did right, the kindergartner teacher put the gold star up. Yeah, you did right that day. Yeah. You're not in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it every day. Hey, you got a star. Those are the stars that we're counting, not what Twitter counts or the people that.
Back to be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Here's Buzz Williams, head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, 8-2 in the SEC. And taking on Auburn tomorrow at Reed Arena, 6 o'clock, 5:30, with our Dos Equis tip-off show. More to come from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Stay with us. The Buzz Williams Show will come back after this. Is Aggie basketball from Learfield. This is the Buzz Williams Show, and we are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And this is just the first of what will be 4 coaches' shows this week, because tomorrow it's the Joni Taylor Show. That will come from 6 to 7. It's also the debut of the Aggie Softball Hour with Tricia Ford. That will come from 7 to 8. So 2 shows tomorrow here at Rudy's, the Joni Taylor Show and the Aggie Softball Hour with Tricia Ford. Then on Thursday, it will be the first Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagel. That will be Thursday from 7 to 8. Both Coach Ford and Coach Schloss will be bringing a couple of players as well, part of that hour. So it's a great week of coaches shows here at Rudy's. The Joni Taylor Show tomorrow, 6 to 7, followed by the Aggie Softball Hour with Tricia Ford from 7 to 8. And then on Thursday, it's the debut this year of the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagel. That will be from 7 to 8. We've got questions. We'll ask them of Buzz Williams when we return to the Buzz Williams Show. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Not everyone is a morning person yet, but with Costa Vita's new breakfast tacos, everyone will be. Try our bacon, egg, and cheese, or specialties like the machaca beef and egg, or sweet pork, egg, and cheese. You can stop by our drive-thru any day from 7 to 10:30 a.m. Order online through the Costa Vita app or the website. Become a morning person at Costa Vita. That's our friend Holly down there in South College Station. We continue from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. It is the home of the Buzz Williams Show. And there are questions that are in, and they're all over the place. Buzz, so we're going to get started right now. Ian wants to know.
I just said hello to him.
Yeah, because once Ian drops a question, I know that's another segment that
Ian, you weren't here the last time.
No, he was too busy getting accepted into Texas A&M, Buzz.
Yeah, but he got accepted to several schools.
Yes, he did.
Did you choose Texas A&M?
And he chose Texas A&M.
Congratulations,
he's a fighting Texas Aggie.
Yep.
Whoop. Whoop. How is the fan support now different from when you were an assistant here?
Well, when I got here with Coach, that was the 2004, 2005, 2006 season. Texas A&M had went 0-16 in the Big 12 when they hired Coach. AC was on the team. Antoine Wright was on the team. I think we signed Joe Jones had already signed. I think we signed 5 players when we took the job. I coached here 2 seasons, and we flipped the entire roster. So it was 12 new players on the team when I left. In other words, when I went to New Orleans. We went to the NIT in year 1. We finished 8-8 in the Big 12. Coach was named Coach of the Year. So in year 2, we went 10-6. Got beat by Syracuse in the NCAA tournament in the second round, I believe, right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say from year 1, there was a crescendo. Everybody thought we would be terrible. We played 12 home games in non-conference and 1 road game. We lost the road game. We bought 12 games. We had 12 guarantee games. Lost the road game. Then went 8-8. And during that 8-8, you could tell it was starting to come around. And then in year 2, more stable roster. We signed Donald Sloan. We signed Derek Rowland. We signed Brian Davis. But in year 2, it started feeling the way Reed has felt the last 3 games, where there's some seats, but the students are showing up early. The season ticket holders who hadn't been coming, but now we're good, they start showing up. And then they start selling the remaining seats. Here's the students, here's the season tickets. Hey, there's 5 right here. If you buy these 5, you can buy 3 games, and we'll sell you these 5 tickets, that sort of deal. And it started getting a little bit more difficult to have a seat. And so I would say in my second year here, I know Coach was here 2 more, but in my second year here, it started feeling the way Reed felt against Kentucky last year, because it was Kentucky, but the way it's felt the last 3 games here because of us.
Rebecca would like to know, crowd counting down the shot clock, is it helpful, counterproductive, or neutral to the team?
Are they counting it down when we have the ball?
Rebecca, counting it down when you have the ball. Yes, Rebecca says.
Yeah, it's okay. We call it fire and ice. If we're on defense and the shot clock's under 10, we say fire because that means something to us defensively. And then when we're on offense and it gets under 10, we call that ice. You want to have ice in your veins, like 10 seconds is an eternity in basketball. We can be calm. We don't have to just run out there and set a random ball screen and shoot a bad shot. But when we start hollering fire defensively, it's because we're wanting the offense to feel, hey, you better hurry up. So countdown when the opponent gets there louder than when we have the ball, if that makes sense. Yes?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
You did.
Yeah.
You know what's also nice, Buzz, is when the clock is counting down when we have the ball and it's in Boots' hands.
Yeah, Boots for sure has ice in his veins.
There is a poise, Buzz, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, anytime he has the ball, regardless of how much time's on the clock, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I have to think that having him as opposed to playing against him is way more comfortable.
Yeah,
right?
He can make a play for himself, but he's so unselfish that he knows when to make a play for someone else, and that's so hard, particularly late in the clock.
Yeah.
Hey, have poise. Most guys don't. Have poise, and then have poise that you know you're good enough to make a play. but be open enough that on the way to making a play for yourself, you may make a play for someone else. And that's part of what makes him special for sure.
I love watching him, and I'm thinking about the play where he curls from in front of our bench and gets the left-handed layup. But that entire time, it's not like he's predetermined, I'm going to get to my spot. He is probing that entire time.
That's why he's hard to guard, because he's not predetermining anything. The more particularly as a perimeter player, and I talked to Four about this a lot, when you have already made your decision before the defense has made their decision, it's probably not going to work out. Mm-hmm. And Boots never has any pre-decision made. He can make the decision on time, on target. Like, is this for Monaco? There. Mm-hmm. Oh, Monaco's guy didn't make a decision? Okay, well, then that made my decision. He can make those decisions in real time without being anxious, right? He has a smoothness. Billy Tubbs used to call it as glide speed, like the pace that he glides at. What is that? Boots is like not slow, not super duper fast, but his glide speed, particularly when he has the ball, you're like, oh, I don't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be right.
Yeah.
You know, and like, but he's making it at that Boots glide pace, like, oh, okay, I guess I'll score.
Yeah.
And that's hard to guard. That's hard to defend, because you can't say, hey, rush him, hey, trap him, hey, go under the ball screen. Like, from the day we signed him through today, who Boots is as a person is completely different. But who Boots is as a player, I had the largest, nobody ever says it, he shot 12% as a college freshman from three. Mm-hmm. He shot 24% as a college sophomore from three. Last year he shot 41% from three. Well, if you're a 12% three-point shooter, teams are going to guard you a certain way. And pretty much that's the same way if you're a 24% three-point shooter. But if you're a 41% three-point shooter, that changes how they defend you, and that also changes how they defend ball screens. And so the ball is in his hands more this year. He's almost Q. We had the ball in Q's hands. He wasn't the point, but he could act like the point. And as his career unfolded, he began to be comfortable with just make the right play. And Boots is at that point now where, hey, he can shoot and he can go downhill, and he's top 10 in the country and getting fouled. So that's a three-level guy, and he has poise. And so that's the combination, obviously, few players have, but what you want.
He has been special to watch, and you can watch him in the Aggies tomorrow. 6 o'clock as the Aggies take on Auburn at Reed Arena. We will have more of the Buzz Williams Show from Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Basketball and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood, and Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. This is the Buzz Williams Show. Episode number 10, by the way. 2 more after this one. Next Monday and the Monday after that. And then that's it. You have to listen to John and me on the radio to get your Buzz fix, is what you're going to have to do as he joins us every post game. Buzz, you said something, and this was posted on Twitter, and if you could explain a little bit more. All success is a lagging indicator. What do you mean by that?
It's your habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter what the scenario would be, the way I taught it to our players is, what does lagging mean? Lagging means behind. What does indicator mean? It's like a notification. Yeah, so your success is behind the notifications. It's behind what you've been doing. You can't just do it on day of the game. Mm-hmm. It's an ongoing deal. You know, it's like, hey, I want to lose 15 pounds. yeah, you're not going to lose 15 pounds if that's the way you're going at it. You should say, I'm going to walk 5 miles a day for 30 days. You should say, I'm not going to eat after 8 o'clock. You should say, I'm going to join the gym and I'm going to go every day except Sunday, right? So it's counter. You know, like when you say, hey, we want to win a bunch of games in January. Okay, well, if that's all you're saying, that's not going to take place. Okay, so what is it that you have to do to win a bunch of games in January? Well, we have to do this, and we have to do this, and we have to do this. Whatever those things are, yeah, you have to do those things. It's compound interest. It's the eighth wonder of the world. You got to do it over and over and over and over. Hey, how'd y'all win this game? Oh, that's a long story, right? Well, you did this, this, and this in the game. Yeah, I understand, but like I can't explain to you all of the work and the preparation in the film and this that led to that, right? And not that everybody has to completely understand the depth of coaching. I'm not making out like coaching is some hard science, but no matter what you're talking about, all success is a lagging indicator. I read a lot. Well, I meet with authors every month during the non-basketball season. I go to wherever they are, and I want to learn something relative to the book they wrote. Well, I read the book. I don't want to talk about the book. I want to talk about what didn't get in the book. What did the publisher cut out? Where are all your notes that you didn't use because for whatever reason it was edited out? I want to talk about that. Yeah, but how did you write such a good book? Well, they wrote 1,000 words a day, every day. Well, how hard is it to write 1,000 words a day? It's really hard because not every day is there something on your brain to write. It's like going to the gym every day. You don't have to go to the gym every day, but if you're trying to accomplish something, you have to make it your habit. And everybody has a different view of habits, but the best way to make it a habit is you make it your lifestyle. Hey, I pray every day when I work. Oh, so you don't pray when you don't work? Well, I pray when I'm driving my car to work, and when I don't have to go to work, I don't drive my car. Okay, well then, yeah, your habits have to become your lifestyle. That's my opinion.
So when you're not doing that habit and it catches up with you, that's a reinforcer.
It's a lagging indicator.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that success is a lagging indicator. In many respects, so is failure,
yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
Hey, I've gained a bunch of weight. Okay, well, then your habits are really bad, and your weight is ballooning up because it's a habitual lagging indicator. Well, I flunked this class. Well, you didn't just flunk the class because you failed the final. It's because you were bad on the first 4 tests and you did awful on the project, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And this team is, and I've asked these players about this. When there is a flaw, when there's something that has to be corrected, they don't say, it'll fix itself. They go to work fixing it. But that comes with the honesty, right? That you've always
That's what
the truth.
I literally just told them.
Did you
I
really?
say, guys, I got 3 minutes and I got to hurry up and go to the radio show. I'm going to tell you the most important lesson that I want you to learn from December the 20th to February the 6th. The faster and closer you get to the truth, the more simple it is. You can say that in your relationships. I told him, I can say that in my relationship with Corey. I can say that in my relationship with my children. I said, I can say that in my relationship with you guys. How many times did we talk in September, October, November, December, hey, words that I'm saying or that a player's saying? Hey, I'm trying to tell you so I can help you, and I'm going to try to say it in the right tone of voice, but you need to play a little harder, or you need to go. Yeah, nobody said that since December the 20th. We're 6-5. We don't have time to preclude what we say. It doesn't mean I have to be a jerk. It's like, yes, the tone of your voice is important. I understand, and I try to abide by that for the most part. But the faster and closer you get to the truth in whatever category your life is, the more simple it is. When you go about this roundabout long diatribe. Yeah, cut all that out.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to, it doesn't necessarily mean you're lying. And it doesn't mean that you're not telling the truth. It just means you're not telling all the truth. The faster and closer you can get to the truth, the more simple it is. Hey, why are you guys doing better? Yeah, I can answer that, and I understand I need to expound upon it. The faster and closer you get to the truth in your relationship with whomever, the simpler it is. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Here's why I don't like it, and I would like to see if we can work on some sort of change, because what you're doing relative to our team is not going to work. The faster and closer you can get to that, the simpler it is.
One final segment of the Buzz Williams Show, and we return to Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Our final segment of the Buzz Williams Show from Rudy's. Tomorrow night, Reed Arena, 6 o'clock, the Aggies and the Auburn Tigers, 5:30 with our Dos Equis tip-off show. Saturday, the Aggies will be in Baton Rouge taking on LSU. That is a 7:30 tip. 7 o'clock with our Dos Equis tip-off show. That is what the Aggies are doing this week. Home tomorrow against Auburn. Saturday, they'll be in Baton Rouge, which leads to Steve's question. And Steve asks, when playing teams for a second time, Buzz, is it harder to get them fired up knowing the other teams have revenge on their mind? Because your two opponents this week are mirror opponents this week.
Well, I don't know. I think the energy is a little different. I think if you only talk about the mirror season, that's 10 games out of our 18. And I think over the next 4 games, I think it's kind of a mirror season, right? I think the next 4 games we play are mirror opponents. And I would say that's going to have a lot of bearing this time a month from now, how we do in those mirror opponents. There's still a lot to be said and a lot that has to transpire. But 10 of your games are mirror opponents. That means the other 8, 4 of them are at home in a one-time deal, and 4 of them are on the road in a one-time deal.
Yeah.
And in an unbalanced league relative to scheduling, it becomes crucial, right? Because you can't control who your mirror opponents are.
Right.
That's TV.
Right.
And so everybody talks about the net and Kim Palm and Bart Torvik and all of these guys that are studying all of these numbers. Your mirror opponents are really important. Your success is really important because you can't choose who you're playing. And so, yeah, I think we've lost 1 game thus far to a mirror opponent at Arkansas.
Right.
And we've lost 1 road game to a non-mirror opponent at Kentucky. And so I think there's 4 left, and so that means 2 of those mirror opponents are on the road, and 2 of those mirror opponents are at home, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously tomorrow night is a mirror opponent at home. And the energy that we played with in Auburn, they had been ranked 31 weeks in a row. They had the longest home court winning streak in the country. We played with an incredible edge, incredible fervor, poise, energy, competitive spirit, execution, low turnover rate. So many things have to go right to beat a team on the road, particularly a team that's been a top 25 team in essence since we've been here. I actually think the exact same and probably better execution will be what will be required to win tomorrow. I think they've played 3 games since we played them, as have we. They're 1-2 in those 3 games, and we're 2-1. So again, with each passing week, as I told the guys, you live to fight another day. We don't have time to be looking around, hey, did that person figuratively not make it? Or what about that person and they want – you'll get lost because you will get hurt if you're paying attention to somebody else. Let's concentrate on our journey, how we can improve, what our responsibilities are, because we're just trying to live to fight another day.
Thank you, Buzz. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Always
good to see you. Thank you guys very much for coming.
Everybody being
very
here
kind
at
of
Rudy's, we thank you.
It's the largest crowd since we've been here.
Yes, it is, Buzz. Yes, it is.
It's kind of like if that baseball movie, if you win, they will come to the game and your radio show.
Yes, they will.
Thank you.
He is Buzz Williams. Hey, we want to set up what the rest of the week is like once again tomorrow. 2 shows, 2 coaches shows. The Joni Taylor Show comes your way from 6 to 7 tomorrow, and the Aggie Softball Hour with Tricia Ford will be from 7 to 8, the debut of that show. Tricia and a couple of players will be here. Joni will likely bring some players as well. And then Thursday, it's the first Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagel. That will be from 7 to 8 on Thursday. All those shows right here at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. The producer of the Buzz Williams Show this evening has been Braxton Vines. Kevin Menchow is our engineer. For Buzz, I'm Andrew. We'll talk to you tomorrow. 5:30, the Dos Equis Tip-Off Show, 6 o'clock the tip. The Aggies in Auburn, all along the Texas A&M Sports Network. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks and gig 'em. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield.